everybody, welcome to our speed bump episode. It's time for a race, a big one this time. Looks like it's coming out. Has anyone cleared this game? I haven't seen a full clear yet. I've seen a lot of people talking about 6-2. That's what I've seen.
Yeah. Most of the things I've heard have been talking about World 6. I think I saw Glumbaron talking about 6-3 at some point. I don't know if we've seen a full clear yet, so if things get hairy, we may be calling it. But I think this is gonna be a lot of fun.
What's our time limit?
What's our time limit?
Yeah.
I don't know, hour 20. Cut it off at 11, I guess.
See that? Yeah, that makes sense.
Hour 20 is 4 times world record, or four times the task, which 4 times world record is always the amount of time I estimate it will take me to do a blind race. Typically pretty true. I'm pretty excited about this. This is our first race where we've got. I think we're doing a better job of people feeling confident that they don't have to have already learned the speedrun in order to participate in these races, and so we've got pretty good turnout this time.
Yeah, you really don't. There was some talk about how we wanted people to have raced this before, and that's kind of the opposite reality. I always have trouble getting a clear message across on my rules and stuff, but what we're looking for is to fill this up, that's all. That's really it. I would be happy to see somebody crush the game, and I'd also be happy to see somebody trying it for the first time.
Yeah, I think we've got quite a few people who have barely touched the game at all, like maybe even haven't booted it up yet, and so I think this is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I think it's a lot of fun to watch people blind race things because different people sort of bring a different approach to games, and so you never know when you're going to see some trick that turns out to be an actual strat down the road. There's still no world record for this game. In the last week, a bunch of people have tried the game out, but no one's put any real attempts in yet. I think this game's got a little more meat on it than most of ours do, so I think that probably lends itself to that. But the task is about 20 minutes. I would still estimate that the world record could probably reasonably be about 30. That would be my guess. Just looking at the tasks, it doesn't do any really crazy tricks or anything. It's not human reproducible for the most part.
I thought it looked like a game I would want to try out this week, but I never had a chance last week. I think it is a long one though, especially because it seems like from what I saw of you playing it seems like it can get pretty rough, at least until you know exactly what to do with some of those bosses and stuff. It's not even very obvious, and they've been working on there was a big discussion about how they wish they could attack with the balloon, and it looks like the task does do that sometimes. But I'm not sure how that works.
The air balloons can attack and the water balloons can attack, so. The no damage video times add up to about 50 minutes according to Darkman. Yeah, that's probably a pretty good metric. No damage videos are certainly going to be slower than the world record, but as is the case with long plays, anyone who's not really playing by speedrun rules is really not beholden to follow any of those rules, so I always kind of go into it with the assumption that they may be recording their videos with task tools or rewind or save states and cutting it together. It's a safe assumption.
We're just waiting on Ouroboros to go live, and then we're good. Looks like they are starting up.
Alright, I'll check.
I have everything ready to go. Everyone's playing on easy. I see all three. I see everybody's screen, just Oro's screen is offline right now. If you're interested in racing, folks, we're doing another one in 2 weeks, and there's still time left to get in on this game here.
And let us be clear about what we're looking for. This is not a situation where this is the blind race and the other one's a serious race. You are more than welcome to participate in the next race, more or less blind as well. We're really just looking for people to come out and have fun playing these games. So even if you haven't put the time you wanted to in, even if you haven't put any time into it, you're still more than welcome to come race. I mean, even if you're racing with us tonight, if you want to race again in 2 weeks, go for it.
Love to see it. We were getting ready to join in because we really wanted to fill this out. But it's hard for us to do it, especially I'm running this. It's really hard for me to do it. But we can't really commentate and race at the same time anyway.
And I make really goofy faces when I'm playing video games, so I'd really prefer to just sit here and watch the runs.
Well, I'm all set. So we have Ouroboros on Group A's audio and Moonberry 2 on Group B.
Yep.
And I see Oro's screen is online now. I'm gonna get that audio. We're gonna start with. So I'm gonna be bouncing back and forth between them a little bit here. But that's what we're up to.
Yeah, we'll do our best to sort of talk about who's where and who's doing what, but we're going to be bouncing around just to kind of see what the game's all about. So,
all set. I am ready. If you want to count them down from 10, I'll be ready to go. Just let me know when.
Let me at everyone so no one misses the countdown. All right. I'm going to count them in.
Okay, I'm good. I'm all set. It's race time. So they're playing this game on easy. The big difference is just HP. I don't think we ever found any other thing that was different than just how many hits you get to take. And this game is pretty rough, so we want to give them as many as we can. Looks like everyone's starting up.
Yep, looks like we should have everyone going pretty much at this point. So yeah, in terms of what we're probably going to see in the long term as people start to work on this game, the fastest strats are definitely going to be making a lot more use of the gas balloons to move quickly. I mean, that's what the task does. And if we don't really have a run by next week, I wouldn't mind taking a look at the task in detail. It's really interesting how much you can do with those balloons, but it's also extremely risky because flying fast does not make you deal damage. So if you run into an enemy or something like that, you're going to be on the losing end of it.
Here's Group B. I'm gonna try to figure out who's in front out of the 6 people I'm watching, and that's who I'll be focused on.
Ouroboros seems in first place right now.
Yeah.
From the other group.
They're definitely in front, I think. I haven't seen that gold pile on the other ones yet.
Oh no, Eric's entered stage 2 a little earlier, it looks like. Or not stage 2, but the next part of stage 1.
This is Sparkster style gameplay, except for his sword is busted, essentially. But like I was saying, there's some kind of unintended, almost, I think, way to attack with the balloon. I don't think it's easy to reproduce based on what I was seeing people discuss, and it would be really nice because this is the biggest downfall of the game, is that you have this dash but it has no attack.
Yeah.
So it seems
it's really fun to go fast with it, but it makes you just, I mean, anything that you touch you're going to get hurt by, and it's really hard to, without practicing ahead of time, know what you're going to land on or what you're going to run into.
I don't know what's going on with World 6.2. I haven't looked at it myself. I am planning on playing this myself, and I kind of want to keep it empty until I see it myself. But if I see it tonight, I'll sure find out what's wrong with 6.2 and why people were so upset about it. That's got to be one of the final worlds, too. I think there's 6 in this. We had talked about it last week, and I don't think it's that long of a game. But it feels long because it's pretty tough.
Yeah, 20-minute task is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, that's still a heck of a lot of game.
Yeah. Gotta switch over to the other 3 here.
Alright. Are the names labeled wrong? You've got one labeled Ouroboros on here.
Yeah, I'll
Was there
fix that.
someone?
I switched them around because we had
right.
sound.
Gotcha.
I see. I think that's Digital Basic here.
Okay.
Yeah, that is Digital
Just
Basic.
curious. I was like, I thought Ouroboros was further.
Digital Basic is in the top left there. Now they're accurate.
There we go. Yeah, I don't really blame them. I mean, this may change when people start routing it a little better, but I really don't blame people for just damage boosting, using the health they have to get through the fire section, because it seems like it's kind of a nightmare to move through quickly, so...
So we're looking at Eric's in front, I think.
Yeah, that does seem to be the case.
And Ouroboros right behind. Everyone else seems like they're on stage 1 still. These are our leaders right now.
It does seem like Eric's has put some time into this. A lot of the... Not just a mastery of the movement options, but kind of seems to have an idea of where to use them as well. So how to line up certain balloon dashes and things like that.
I'm gonna try and get Oro's screen better crop. That's my bad. So I am going to probably stay on screen 1 here as long as Oro's in the lead or Eric's in the lead. If Team 2 picks it up, I'll switch over. It's just a little tough for me to switch audio source.
Right.
But they're all doing something. They're all making it. I see Pete on Moonberry's screen. Moonberry has been a winner of this show, what, 3 times now out of 7?
That sounds right. I mean, it's kind of gone back and forth a lot between Fiona and Moonberry, and then the most recent one was Gaffadil.
Yeah.
Which Gaffadil has been the first one to upset the all-around domination by Moonberry and Fiona.
Love to see it. Here comes the competition.
Yeah, I certainly don't mind seeing the same faces coming back, but it is nice to see, you know, more people rising to the occasion and taking on the challenge.
Oh,
Whereas
yeah.
Eric is not even taking the minecart, just flying over everything, which it seems like it's probably not that hard to stay airborne with the gas balloons just to keep flying, but it seems like this would be a lot harder with all the birds flying around.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. What is the hover capability here? Because it seemed like the TAS was doing it.
I've never seen this before.
Oh my. I don't think I saw that other either. Is that in the TAS? I don't recognize that. I don't think they did.
No clue.
I don't think they did that. I think they just flew the whole time. Is it faster than just flapping around with the balloon? Because I'm pretty sure the TAS is across the board just ballooning non-stop. There's not much else.
Yeah, for a human that might be more reliably fast.
It went down a pit though.
Poor
That's not
Eric.
fast.
Yeah, you hate to see that.
I'm looking at Team 2 here. They are at the starts of Stage 2. Digital Basics working on the end of Stage 1. This railcart section is the first of many bad stages. It's killed both players in the lead so far. Man, Eric's really has this game down. Jeez. I could tell that they have a lot of experience bouncing off them birds like that. Dang. That's wild looking.
Impressive movement.
Opting to not take the cart, and I can see why. It's
Trying to
terrifying.
take it a little safer here at the end. This end part seems a lot harder to make
Eric's
it
is
through
through.
without the minecart.
Okay, Eric's is on 2-3 now, and this is this ridiculous. This how long were you here? Like 30 minutes. This stupid wind area.
Yeah, it took me a while.
You have to. This is really gonna mess up the blind players, especially if they didn't watch you do it. You have to approach it just right, or you get sent all the way back to the start.
Yeah, I told them on Discord that if they got stuck at any point, the blind players, they were welcome to like message in the Discord and try to get them unstuck.
Brother Bros, keep
I
this
think
competitive.
you're right though. This is going to be a huge bottleneck for people who either haven't tried it themselves or didn't watch me last week.
Let's take a peek at the other 3 here, but we're keeping Ouroboros sound playing. Get that great music. Here they are.
Well, it looks like Moonberry's still making great progress though.
Yeah,
Moonberry's right behind.
I think they're the only one. I think they're in 3rd. Moonberry's pushing the end of 2-2. Just has to make these tough ending jumps, and they'll be up there. We're dealing with balloons on Oro's screen. This part's ridiculous.
Oro's taking it really safe here. You can skip part of it. I imagine Eric's did in order to get a little bit ahead, but
I don't know where Eric's at.
Eric's is a little further in the level, very, very close to the end of it. In this nightmare section.
Forgive me for not being able to tell any part of this level from the rest of it.
I probably wouldn't recognize any of this if I hadn't just played it.
That huge ending tunnel, I guess, is the U.
I'll be really interested to see what ends up being the most consistent strategy for humans for this straight up section, because I imagine that the task just flies straight up it with the gas balloons.
Seemed like it.
Getting those consistent enough to gain height quickly enough is probably a lot harder than it might be to just plan to land on some of the side platforms.
Guess what, that was Redhead. You gonna race this game with us?
Oh, interesting. Eric's is doing the strategy of throwing water balloons at Pete, but doing it from much further away.
Wonder why.
Well, it looks like getting the timing consistent isn't terribly hard, and it really doesn't matter how far you are away because he's got iframes.
Maybe he controls his attack. It looks like he really wants to use his gun. I wonder if that affects anything. Or a missed, but otherwise it seemed pretty fast what they're doing over there. Oh, World 3. I think this is where we cut it. Like, it took us so long to do this that it was the end.
Yeah, the only difference between Eric's and Ouroboros' strat is that Oro was able to actually get larger water balloons out of it, which I assume deals more damage.
This game looks great. I have no opinions on how it feels yet. It looks like it plays pretty well though.
Yeah, it's not too bad to play. Going fast with the gas balloons is challenging though.
My UI on this will never be perfect. Sorry, perfectionists like me, but those boxes need a lot of adjusting with all these players. This was a problem I ran into right away when I started broadcasting racing games. We used to do them blind, and I edited them in post. That's way easier, but way more cumbersome work.
Right.
And broadcasting them instantly done.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun to see them this way.
Yeah. I had once, I don't remember why I got into it, but I learned how to write AB synth script for that purpose. And I wrote myself a like 700 line code for Donkey Kong Country Racing. Where it would automatically move the Donkey Kong on a little mini-map to tell you which player was in front.
That's pretty cool.
But boy howdy, that was not probably worth the effort it took to do it.
So Eric's got past that little mid-boss a lot faster, and is really just making short work of this next level.
That mid-boss doesn't look too bad now that they have it down.
I really love this gas balloon mechanic. It's so versatile. I mean, between being able to fly up into the air and sort of over things, and being able to fly down at the ground and just slide across it.
Here's our other three players. Moonbear is nearly on level 3. Pete is just not an issue. He's dead. Okay. Nice. Everyone else is still working on it.
Digital Basic is trying to find the end of the level. It's really telegraphed poorly here. You see this building that you can get on top of, and you think, okay, well, I got to get on top of the building then. But it's really just moved to the right. That's the whole. That's the end of the level.
There it is.
But it telegraphs so poorly.
Funbaron's dealing with the balloons. That's a really weird thing too. You have to put those balloons there, you get thrown back to the beginning.
I can't imagine that on a long enough timeline. On any length timeline, I would have figured that out on my own.
It's a little wild. That's It's kind of a unusual thing. I would. All right.
Yeah, Eric's is, I think, on the later room of this stage. I didn't see them come into it, so I'm forgetting which room is first. But Eric's really seems like they're avoiding using the rafts, and that's got to be challenging.
Yeah. Anytime you're using the balloon the whole time, it looks so complex. It looks like such a pain to master that. But it looks like it can be done. It looks like you can stay airborne as long as you would like to.
I mean, if you got the health for it, you can definitely damage boost through these areas, but it still seems like it's a nightmare.
Eric's really seems to have a good idea of what's going on. I think this raft section is all one. If you die here, you're going back to the very beginning of a section.
Yep.
Like this is divided into threes, and then the boss. So this is all the third area that he started.
I think if you lose a single try, you start the room over. But I think if you lose all of them, you go back to the beginning of the entire raft section.
Here's a boss. I forget
so
what
this boss is the furthest I made it.
I forget what this boss even is. What's going on here?
You gotta you've gotta kill the guys that drop down. It's just a waited out boss. He makes enemies appear, you kill them, and eventually it'll be enough and he'll die. It is taking them 15 minutes to do what took me about an hour last week. So
they've definitely got a good Mickey strategy. I don't know. I've seen Eric's do some really weird stuff, and he's taken some deaths too, but oh, probably not a good one to take at the end of that timed boss.
Yeah, I think that was the last round too.
This game does heal you. I don't think it gives you lives back. They usually don't. I don't know why lives are even a thing. But I think you continue at the stage you died on too, the section. If you continue, and I don't think you ever run out.
Yeah, the continue system is extremely friendly. And even if you did ever run out, the game gives you passwords for every single section, so...
Yeah, we have those. Those are available. That's easy to find. There's one for each section, and they're based on difficulty, so there's 3 sets.
This fight seems like a real big pain because it doesn't seem fixed. It seems like the positions of things are random.
Yeah.
So the question is whether or not it's going to either people are going to figure out how to manipulate it, or people are going to just learn to react faster. It seems like there's just some patterns where there's no opening and you're going to take a hit.
It's time for the haunted house. This is new territory for us.
This is where this is further than me and Smite have seen.
I like the visuals of it, so I made you come in here, but I haven't seen any of it beyond that. Really, I mean, I watched the tasks in like fast forward real quick just to get a glimpse.
Yeah, I never finished watching the tasks. I knew it was going to be a good speed game when I saw the first level, the first stages task playthrough, and I was like, that's good enough.
I can't believe there's no record for this game. This one seems like a really good find.
It's honestly astounding to me, knowing the games that have gotten speedrunning attention, that this one has not.
A SNES game, no less, too. Oh, Famicom. Super Famicom game, but...
I mean, the speedrunning community rarely shies away from games just because they're not localized. Ooh. This one's just a straight climb.
I mean, one of these players probably does have the record, and they just haven't posted a video of it for us. I mean, I haven't seen it. I'm sure that somebody in this group has beaten the game by now, and whatever that time is as far as we know, the best time the human has gotten. Aside from the no-hit run on YouTube, which, you know, it might be slower than that. They haven't really optimized it yet. That might be a tough video to beat, but again, that's segmented, isn't it? So, not really able to count that.
Yeah, single segment is the preferred measurement.
Ugh, nice flickering.
Oof.
Who's that
Yeah,
in the orb?
I don't know.
Am I supposed to know this character?
I can't think of any specific characters from the Haunted Mansion.
I want to check on the other 3 players real quick. Let's see how they're doing.
Wizardman and Moonbear are both making great progress. I mean, Digital Basic is probably the struggle Digital Basic is having right now is just this level in particular is tricky.
Yes, it's bad. it's just unclear, it's tight, it's weird, and it's mean. It sends you all the way back all the time. They seem like they're getting through the hard parts though. Now, I'm just gonna throw this out again. Our rules they vary from game to game based on what I think the good length and stuff is. For this one, we are giving away a prize for the top 3, so it's $50, $20, and $10 prizes. So if you make the top 3, I mean, it could be one of these. It could be these 3 players who are in the lead right now, but you haven't competed yet. It's your chance. I don't feel like these players have mastered this game yet. You have plenty of time to get in here and really nail this one down. 3 weeks left.
Yeah, more so than any other game, no one's really touched this one yet. Like, it hasn't been really dug into fully, so, you know, you want to get in on this game. There's still plenty of time.
Alright, back to the haunted house. Ouroboros is our sound here. I don't have sound for Eric, so I'd have him going, but Oro's giving me just game sound.
Looks like Eric's might be in the lead. I don't recognize the part that Ouroboros is on, but Eric's was in the lead when we flipped away, so...
I've been watching Eric's cruising through stuff, and they don't seem like they're having any trouble, so I think they are in the lead. It's hard for me to tell, though. This looks like a maze. This looks really nasty. I'm not sure what's going on anymore.
It reminds me of the the Bebe's Kids.
Oh no.
The Bebe's Kids haunted house maze.
What the heck is going on in the water? Dropping the... So you have 2 types of balloons in this. You have one that you ride, you can hover with it, and if you release the balloon, the helium that's left in it will jet you forward for as much helium as there is left in it, so you can reduce the amount it throws you forward by letting the gas out a little bit and hovering. And the other one you have is a weapon. It's a throwable weapon. You can use it to set mines that... Like bounce pad, you can use those bounce pads yourself to break through ceilings. I don't know if we have any other verbs.
The water balloons deal more damage based on if they're more full. I don't know if... Because it's possible to just release a gas balloon as a weapon. I don't know if they do more damage when they're larger. I don't have that information. But the game does let you... Like, if you crouch, you can just release it above you. So you have a attack above you and an attack below you. You can drop water balloons on things. You can throw water balloons at things. You can release gas balloons above your head.
I just watched Eric skip 6 spring jumps by just jumping upwards with the balloon, so I don't think that's the way that was meant to be done, but it is a thing you can do, and that's going to be the tech. Mastering that flight is going to be big. So if you played Sparkster before and you liked it, I think this is a game that you're going to be good at. You should compete. So it's absolutely that kind of movement. I mean, Sparkster's attacking with that. I miss it, but you know what? It was the weakest thing he could do in that game anyway. You don't want to be doing that for damage. It was a sword that you used, so you weren't doing that in the speedrun anyway. Not really, most of the time anyway.
The movement in this game is just cool. I think that's the big thing. I think if you're a speedrun fan, if you have been thinking about trying out a speedrun, the movement in this game is just satisfying to do. I had no idea what I was doing when I played it last week, and it was just really satisfying letting those balloons rip.
It looks like Eric's went all the way up top to turn on a switch and is coming back down now to door number 10 of 20. I don't know what's going on. It looks like this is just, it really is some kind of unlocked maze. This is going to be an interesting one to do blind. Oh, took a death.
Ooh.
Where does that put you?
That was so punishing, all the way to the bottom.
Looks like they made it to a checkpoint, so that's a good thing. Making it outdoors is...
I'm really nervous for him though. He's on his last try, and I'm worried that if he gets the game over, that's going to reset all of the haunted house progress. This has seemed like the most involved level for sure.
Ooh. I'm getting a lot of Adventures of the Magic Kingdom vibe from this whole place. Haunted house continuing to be the worst heckin' place. Oh, takes to death on the pit, trying to do some fancy jumps.
I really hope that doesn't reset the level. I'm so hopeful for Eric's right now.
Where's that checkpoint? I want to see
Please
outside.
be outside.
We're good.
Okay.
That pit ghost, that outdoors, that's looking good. That's sharp.
I was extremely nervous.
I want to check in on the other 3 players here.
Digital Basic is still. Basic is still.
I can see
having
why
a hard
right
time
there.
figuring out.
That's right. Oh, that sucks. That's so mean. That's the stupidest thing in this game, I think.
It really
up. It's wildly bad to do that to the player.
From a casual Let's Play perspective, that is an unforgivable segment right there.
Just getting sent from, probably 80% of the way through the stage back to the beginning with no health, no anything. Just,
Glumbaron's just wailing on this crystal ball with the gas balloons. I really look forward to us starting to dissect some of this game. I wonder whether or not there are task notes online. I kind of want to look that up really quickly. Mickey House.
Eric's having a really bad time with this last bit. I don't know what's going on with it.
A lot of times when these tasks are posted to task video, the authors of the tasks will post a lot of information that they've discovered from the game. Just sort of a write-up of information about it, and I'm kind of hoping that there's something like that. The notes for this run only seem to mention what their optimizations were over the previous run, and don't include any sort of breakdowns.
Eric's has made it, I think, to the boss. It's Ghost Pete. There he is. The ghosts get issued a white suit? I don't have one of those.
I think you have to rent your own.
Man. I've got a top hat, but it's not that color.
Eric's is at 0 tries again, so hopefully this goes smoothly.
Do they get to start the boss of the game over here?
I have no idea.
I feel like they do, but I can't remember for sure.
He's got enough health that I don't think it's a big risk of him dying, but gosh, I would not want to be in that scenario.
The ghost turns into a thwomp for a minute. Just that's his plan. Take damage, go thwomp. Our other players are navigating this maze still. There's a lot to it, I think.
I wonder if the water balloons just don't hit, because there's a lot of time where he could be charging up a water balloon in order to deal potentially more damage.
Well, at 27 minutes, we are heading in Scrooge McDuck, World 5. What's he up to? We're going to airport? Mall? What is this? This is everything that's in Tokyo.
It really feels right now like Eric's has a pretty commanding lead.
I think Oro's right behind. They just need to kill the boss now. They need to get past that pit at the end of this section that everyone seems to have trouble with, and then to the boss. As for the other players, they're a little bit behind there, but Wizardman and the Moon Bear are not too far back. Glumbaron's also working on the haunted house. Digital Basics working on level 2 too, still this piece of crap level.
Did Digital Basic get past the thing yet?
No.
No. Tempted to pop in and say a little something to maybe get them unstuck, but I don't know if they want that.
Moonbear's fighting the boss, Oro's fighting the boss as well. Alright, Moonbear's just seen the boss fly around. Oro's actually by the bus. Let's go over there and check that out. Also, we have, we're inside some kind of sci-fi thing on Eric's screen.
Oro's charging up big-ass water balloons. I wonder if those are gonna be dealing more damage and maybe finish this boss off faster. That did feel faster.
It did, yeah. I don't know. We can easily measure something like that. Okay, so these are aliens, I guess? That's what's going on?
You're right, though. Oro finished up the end of that haunted house way faster than Eric's did. Really closed the gap quite a lot.
Oh, it's Space Mountain, yeah, okay. Also really bad in Adventure Kingdom. This is better than that one was. That's a fun ride. You ever been on any of these?
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least in Orlando, not in Tokyo Disneyland.
Oh. Let's get out there.
All right.
Let's confirm this is all there.
We're gonna take a big field trip.
It's time to use that Hyper 6 jackpot that you got to pay for our way out there.
No kidding.
How's it feel to be free of that?
There's little in my life that has brought me greater peace of mind and clarity than to no longer have to play Hyper 6. Glumbaron taking the same dip in the pit. I gotta say, Glumbaron made it sound like he didn't really get a chance to touch the game all that much. Maybe I misunderstood, but really seems to be keeping up pretty well with Eric's and Ouroboros. Really doing his squad pride. His squad proud.
There's a lot more guns than I remember on Space Mountain. I just remembered riding around in the dark, and there were some lights. It's a nice little roller coaster. I don't remember getting shot at as much. I did like the log jam. That's always a fun ride. That was World 2, I guess. That's what that was supposed to be. Huh? It's just sort of...
Moonberry and Wizardman both doing a great job on stage 4 as well. Digital Basic struggling with World 2. Honestly, from a purely blind perspective, I would expect anyone to get stuck here indefinitely. This is not at all uncharacteristic of someone who may not have seen the game really yet, and
this freaking wind, it just crawls up my spine. Yeah, the rage. Oh man, that pit at the end of that stage Moonberry's on seems very deadly, and I don't know why. It's like the ceiling's too low and you can't get your balloon charged back up before you can fall. Is that the sound of hints being typed?
It's the sound of me offering a leg up in Discord. I will leave it up to them to tell me whether or not they want info.
Glumbaron fighting the boss. Only one half of a stage behind. Actually, Eric's is already on this weird rotating Pete.
Oh wow. Yeah, so we're probably seeing the end of stage 5 there.
Rotation Pete, ready to shake the cube. I don't know if that's mode 7. I guess it's some kind of mode. I don't think it's all 7 of them, though. There's a Pete on every screen, pretty much.
If this is the Pete for stage 5 is pretty short.
Yeah, it looked like 4 was the longest so far, and it wasn't the hardest. I think that remains in the hands of World 2. There's Goofy, everyone's favorite dog. With big hat. Okay, World 6 is just a haunted house again, but worse. Castlevania time.
Do you think it's Goofy's hat that gives him the power of speech and what makes him different than Pluto?
It's gotta be. Digital Basic is asking for the tips.
Yep.
This is Cinderella's castle. I can think of about 20 things wrong with that. Does she even have a castle? Am I mixing up
No.
my princesses?
Well,
Why
she has a castle, I guess, after she marries the prince.
Prince Charming lives in this dump? What is this Dracula castle? What is he? Don't marry this dude. He's a vampire, man. Look at this thing. Okay, your water balloons turn into ice here. So this is the legendary 6-2 I've heard so much about, I think.
So you don't have to throw fully charged water balloons. Any size water balloon turns into a whole platform.
This looks tedious. Also, the ice dissolves on you. You make your own breaking platforms. That's what's going on here. That sounds tough. But I mean, it's pretty neat. I've never seen that before.
It's a cool mechanic.
I think as long as you're careful here, this doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, if you're willing to take your time, you can just keep dropping fully charged water balloons right at your feet and make a straight line. You'd never have to jump.
There's no end to the spikes. That's the problem. There's never a break. It's just keep on going. Maybe they made the platformer and then later associated stages with it, because I don't see Cinderella's name anywhere on this thing. There is a chest up there, and obviously the speedrunner's not going to want to do that if they can help it. It looks like that's the end of the stage here, and they're in the next area. So that couldn't have been 6-2, is that really it? I'd be surprised if that was the thing that people have been upset about. It sounded like...
I'm not sure.
I mean, after what they've been through, that isn't what I would still consider the worst thing. But now we're underwater dealing with mines, so maybe this is
Oh
it.
god.
This looks really tight.
This looks really stupid. The actual swimming controls, like if you're underwater, the swimming is more or less just horizontal, and it's very difficult to control yourself. So you really have to rely on gas balloons to get you around underwater.
The Wicked Queen and Snow White also probably wouldn't have a castle like this. Maybe the evil fairy from Sleeping Beauty, I guess. That's the only one that even come close in my mind. The lady who turns into a badass dragon might have a castle like this. I don't know about anyone else.
Oh gosh. Eric's was doing really well until he blew up a gas balloon straight into the spikes.
I don't know about you, this little stresses me out. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Any of these water stages and platformers are always nasty, but this one doesn't look like it wants to be a swimming game. You have an oxygen meter, by the way, folks, if you didn't notice. It's that green bar there. I don't know what happens when it's empty. Do you just instantly go down?
I think you just die. So it looks like Digital Basic got unstuck, thanks to me swooping in and sparing him the trouble. The two mechanics that the game does nothing to try to teach you is what he was missing.
Here's Jumpin' Pete. Rotation Pete is back. That took a much longer time. It seemed like Eric's really nailed stage 5. Pulled a big lead on that. And Glumbaron's been working on it too for a while here. Looks like Digital Basic is, I'm gonna go over there for... I've been neglecting the other players. Moonberry's on the space stage, and Digital Basic has made it. It's cleared it. Wizardman also on the space stage. I like the vertical throwing switch on the ceiling idea here. You get a gangster coming out of the tubes, it's not really the summon you're looking for. There's some kind of mini-boss here for Eric's.
Oh my god, a giant dragon.
Yeah, what is this poison-spitting monster?
With something riding on its head?
Is that Mortimer Mouse? Is he here? Is he a tall, weird-looking Waluigi mouse? drives a nice car, hits on many, Mickey don't like it. That's Mortimer Mouse. It might be Mortimer Mouse.
I think Eric's would do well to use gas balloons while it's up in the air, but...
Ugh. This stage is back on Oro's screen now. Can't get away from it.
This green goo that the dragon spits is just... like, the way it spreads out when it hits the ground just feels like it makes it really hard to line yourself up well for hits.
I'm glad it doesn't go all the way across the screen. Looks like it cancels pretty early. I was worried you have to be doing some verticals. Okay, that guy's just some goon on a dragon. The dragon don't care about him. He just went back to sleep, so... nice. Okay, we're back in the haunted house. I mean, that mirror on the wall is absolutely telling me it's... you know... but, like, is it, though? I mean, ugh. Maybe they just did 3 castles in one.
Eric's very clearly has some ideas about how to get through here because he's making some pretty wild jumps.
Yeah. I'm definitely feeling
ones that would be extremely concerning to me if I had no idea where I was going.
Yeah, I don't know how you're supposed to be doing this. I mean, the game definitely feels like it knows you can fly at this point. It's all about that you've mastered this. It knows you can hover, and you can hover quite a bit, honestly. It's a big part of this. You're just floating. You have a lot of air control. Is this the final boss? Oh my god. it's Wiccan Pete. There he is.
I really love this mechanic where you can just place down a giant water balloon and it serves as a bomb. I love that.
The druid Pete has entered the building. He's got laser beams. I don't know what he's doing. He's all about killing Mickey and capturing his friends, man. He's changed his religion just for this task. He's summoning demons. He's doing all kinds of stuff. Used to be just the guy who raced cars. He's gone all in on this. I don't know what Mickey did. He's really made some enemies here. I think that...
Is this really the last fight?
If it is, Eric's setting us a time of 40-something minutes, and that's, I mean, unless he's got a better time out there, that's pretty damn good. And that's what we've got at so far. We're at 41 and a half. Man, Pete is really intimidating. Just in his druid robes, pointing skeletons towards you.
This fight looks like it gets pretty hectic.
He's actually summoning a tornado out of his fist. He's shoving him away with that. He's pointing winds. I didn't notice. That's where that force is coming from.
How many hits does this take?
I think that's it. 42-13 if that's the end. Roughly. Give or take a couple seconds. 42-13 is my time for that if that's the end. I get the password's 4 dots. Congratulations, 4 dots.
Put in 4 dots and you just end the game.
4 dots. There's the dog. The toughest rescue of them all. Just depressed Pete. His religion failed. His whole takeover plan. He took over a spaceship. Nothing worked out for Pete in this game. Train.
I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for all of you anthropomorphic animals and your stupid little dog too.
Well, 42-13, unless Eric has a better time than that on record, is the time I've got for that. Roughly. I'm checking out the other 3 players, and that looks like it's it. And I didn't time that for their start. I timed it for a general start, so I might be a couple seconds off, but I'm sure we could check the tapes if we need that information. There you have it, folks. This game beaten by a human in under an hour. No problem. Just like that. Oh, they're just gonna party with Pete now? Just gonna have a celebration with Pete.
Pete said sorry.
I am confirming 6-2 on Aurora's screen. It is this water stage. I don't know what else is in Waterland here, but 6-2 is this. This is the level no one likes. So
Gotcha.
I imagine it just is really hard to control, and Eric's handled it really well. There's that right at the end. That looked like garbage.
That hurt to watch.
Okay, we're gonna see the entirety of 6-2 now. So let's see where this starts. I'm curious how much of 6-2 there is. It is just this water section, and probably ends with that horrible jump. I see 2 people on the train on Space Mountain and Digital Basic working on level 3.
Yeah, Digital Basic hadn't touched this game, I think, before this race, and ended up getting about as far as I did in the amount of time I did. So, and I'm a video game genius, so I think
Hyper
that's pretty
6 champion.
I think that's pretty commendable. I think that's worthy of a Pog champ or two, you know.
Watching Oros trying to do this stage. I want to see more of this stage. I want to learn its intricacies. It's got the metal balls in the water where you can't move. It's got the jumping gremlin man there. There he is. A switch that does platforms that what's the deal with these? Are they gonna stop appearing? No, they just slowly. It's just a neat visual, it seems like. They don't seem like they have a hazard to them, they just take their time. What's wrong with black culture in Japan? I can't watch that right now. What's that about? You got a bunch of really tricky switches to hit. You have to place weights on them. Oh no!
Oh gosh.
Man. What a stage. They changed the Black Cauldron thing because it was too scary. I've seen that movie, but I don't remember anything about it. It's one of those ones that is famous for going under the radar. Let's check out the other 3 players here. How are they doing? Space Mountain, and Haunted House. They made a ride that scared kids. Okay. I don't know what the deal is with some of these Disney properties. I feel like Black Cauldron was alright. There wasn't any. I mean, Fantasia is another one that had Tim Curry in it. I don't hear anyone ever talking about that movie. Robin Williams was in that too, though. It probably wasn't his best work. The rapping fruit bat is not really my idea of good comedy, but he was in it nonetheless. Space Mountain getting cleaned up. And Rotating Pete is back.
What happened on the other side? Glumbaron just posted first try. Is that like first try 6-2 or something?
He's working on Rotating Pete, just like Wizard Man is here.
Gotcha.
So maybe beating that to him he's getting there.
Yeah, beating the level that leads up to him.
Yeah, Ferngully, my bad. Fantasia is great. Now these two are on pretty much the same exact section of this. Ferngully, where Tim Curry, I think it's Tim Curry, plays a giant smog cloud that hates people and wants to eat life. He's just hanging out, singing about smoke. Rotating Pete is very, he certainly likes his twisting of the screen. I'm watching Glumbera do it now. I assure you that the rapping fruit bat is indeed Robin Williams. No doubt about that. I know that for a fact. That is
that was before Aladdin, and they like publicized the movie with his name on it, and he didn't like that. He didn't like the way that they used his name to publicize the movie. So in his contract for Aladdin, he was like, "Okay, but you got to promise not to do that again." And they're like, "Okay, we promise. We won't use your name to publicize the movie." So
yeah.
then they did.
It's surprising that Ferngully wasn't the cause of this and Aladdin was, but like Aladdin was sort of the movie that Disney went from hiring really good voice actors for everything to just being big name actors just all the time. Aladdin was so good that they just started doing that all the time, and I feel like it hurt them for it. Ferngully tried to do it too though, and it was first. There's this dragon boss thing. It's a mini boss.
Oh, that's clever. Ouroboros was using the using one water balloon to bounce up another water balloon when he was up high.
Yeah, Lion King and pretty much everything after it was just here's every celebrity we can find. Not that I don't like Lion King, it's just, you know, not all of the Disney movies.
Some of the best voice actors Disney ever had were ones that I couldn't tell you who voiced them.
Oh, this dragon, man. It's lagging the screen. It's so bad. Gross. Okay, where are they at? Oh, come on. No way. That mini-boss is part of this. Despicable. No wonder. This is 6-2 then. This is what it is. If you don't beat that dragon on the first try, you're restarting. You gotta save those tries. You gotta get there clean. You gotta take that dragon out without damage. It didn't look like he was too hard, but it's definitely a take your time fight. You don't want to die to him. That's the end of a run.
Yeah, that's gonna be for sure one of those bosses where finding the right tech for dealing damage consistently is going to be... You know, there's a lot of bosses in this game, it looks like, where it's just... you know, get the right rhythm with the water balloons to make Pete not do his attacks. But, like, that dragon boss is going to be a run decider.
Moonberry just cleared Space Mountain.
Everyone's doing such a good job. Digital Basic is on the Haunted House, which seemed like the most complicated level. Like, I'm not trying to suppose anything about Digital Basic, but if this is the last level we see Digital Basic play tonight, that wouldn't be surprising with how complicated this level looks. But just getting this far is still really impressive.
Yeah, they had young Simba played by that kid from Tool Time. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, I think, is the one. I can't remember. But, I think they did alright. It's just that there's so many other Disney movies, and they really went all in on, like, we're done with regular voice actors, we're just gonna get famous people for tags. And, sometimes that didn't work out so well. But they always made money. They always made quite a bit with that. It worked. But if you haven't seen Ferngully,
They knew what they were doing.
If you haven't seen Ferngully, put up with the rapping bat, because otherwise it's a good movie.
I remember liking Ferngully when I was a kid, but I was an idiot kid. I liked anything.
You can have I don't know, I can't remember what the main character guy is. Like, he's like a Californian or some kind of stereotype guy who doesn't care about nature, but he's got a Walkman and he's arguing with fairies about what real music is in one scene. I remember that. I think he's just the dude who cuts down trees for a living and he doesn't really give a shit. I think that's what it... I don't remember the plot too well. He was just the dude who went around marking trees to be cut. And he didn't feel like planting new ones, I guess. He just didn't care about that part of the business. Who's on a boss? Ouroboros is. It's the dragon.
Yeah, it sounds like horror.
Oh, this music's playing during this hellish boss, and they have 1 hit left. This is terrifying. They have 2 tries at least.
Oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
He was getting such good. Oh my god. Those are some good patterns though.
What is this thing? Where is this from in the world of Disney? What is this poison-spitting, horrible monster?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
This thing belongs in Ghouls and Ghosts. It doesn't belong in Mickey Mouse Land. It's got all the markings of a horrible, scary Genesis boss. Heck. I'm watching everyone dealing with various parts of 6.2, I think, at this point, except for yeah, everyone except for Digital Basic working on the ends of the haunted house. They're catching up. 6.2 is a big wall for everyone else. Eric's is the only one to clear.
You know, I thought Eric's dragon fight looked really slow, but I see now that Eric's was the only smart one who just wanted to beat it, so taking it nice and slow was the strat.
It looks like you can really do 2 hits per if you are crazy aggressive about this. I don't know that it's worth it. Not when you have 1 health especially, but there it is. How many hits was that? Damn.
That was so aggressive too.
That was risky. Get the so how many of those Mickey Mouse coins do you need for a... Oh, what have we done to the mirror? Oh, there it is. How about a hidden heart? That's a star. No music or anything, just a star, it just turns on.
Yep. Yep, it's just you flash.
Wonder how much you get out of that here. Looks like it's mostly
Probably not a whole
platforming.
lot.
Fringully too, I didn't know that existed. But also, you know, I've never seen The Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars, so...
I'm sorry, that's a thing?
Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars. Decided that their owner didn't deserve them, so they went to Mars. With the blanket and the vacuum. They all just went to Mars. I haven't seen that. I wonder what it's about. Maybe they really do just go to Mars.
Sounds awful. Now I want to watch it.
Yeah, it's a pretty scary movie. The first one, anyway.
Sure.
Get that truck that commits suicide in that movie. That's a depressing little thing.
That movie has some really dark themes.
I have seen 2 of the American Tail movies, and I wish I didn't just find out that there's 2 more. There are like 12 Land Before Times. So we are on the end of the game for Ouroboros here. Second person to finish, maybe, if they can get it together. Wizard Man, I'm gonna just cut over there. They're dealing with the dragon now. Let's see how that goes for them. There's 2 tries left. I think they just got here. Number of Land Before Times that are worth watching is 1. this 1. I've seen 6 or 7 of them. It's 1. It remains 1. But I guess if you're just looking for a movie for your kid to watch that has singing in it, that's all you need. Just grab whatever one of those you find. Just any number. It's all good.
Any bargain DVD bins certain to have a few Land Before Times laying around in it.
They're almost all about some small problem involving the land that they now live in, and there's a whole lot of singing, and I don't think there was any singing at all in the first one, for the record. I think that was new and fresh material for the sequels.
Gosh.
The deaths in this are so mean every time. I just
Yep.
my soul leaves my body whenever I see one happen. It looks like Moonberry has made it through. I think they're on the final fight with the cultist Pete here soon. I can't believe there's weight puzzles in this game. That's not what I expected. I didn't think that I'd be seeing the platformer staple.
Looks like Moonberry's heading into the dragon fight now.
Yep. Gotta take that down with 4 health and no retries. Or we're just starting back over. It's gotta be this horrible slow boss. Everyone loses their patience on it, and then they have to redo that stage. That's why everyone was mad at 6-2.
Yeah, I think everyone was fully justified at disliking this level.
So far, Ouroboros is still working on the next part, I think, and Baron is on 6-2 as well still. So Basic is on the Haunted House, I think.
Yeah. Visual Basic's doing a great job too. This level looks really intimidating casually. Like, it looked long for all the people who knew what they were doing. Doing this casually feels like it'd be really intimidating.
Yeah. This mirror, this orb face thing, I don't know what's going on with it. Doesn't look too bad though. Another switch done. I think somebody said in chat that there's 4 switches to hit, and then the door opens and you're outside.
Wizard Man having a rough time with 6-2, unsurprisingly.
Moonberry's still alive. Still kicking it. Just taking their sweet time, making sure they don't take any damage here, and that seems easy to do. If you're patient and you just want to win this fight, you can get it. It's the speedrun part of it that's really making it upsetting. Somebody's gonna have to master this to really nail this record. But if nobody masters it, then everyone's even. It's no problem then. It'll be the first speedrun where we just announced that we all take our time here. No one tries to finish this fast. It's a 5-minute given. We the community decided it's against the rules to try and speed this up.
There's only one strat around here. It's called Take Your Time.
He's not coming down for a hit. He's just hanging upstairs. This sucks. Moonberry with 1 health left is getting a little antsy to get this hit, but it's...
That's the worst part about being low on health, is that
They made it. And Ouroboros made it.
you want to be
Peach.
aggressive to finish it faster.
Hell Peach, he's here. I think we're gonna see a second clear here real soon because Oro has 3 tries and Pete did not look as bad as some of this other stuff. Skeletons that die in 1 hit and he just backs them up really. He's just support for his skeletons. Baron also dealing with the dragon now. Everyone seems to get here with no tries left every time. Every time I see it. This dragon, 0 tries.
But Glumbaron also got here with full health, so I'm hopeful.
You ever played Demon's Crest? That's what this boss is making me think of.
I have, yeah.
Looks like if you smack Pete right away, he will not do his finger guns at you. But he does randomly choose a place, so you have to press him down. Oh, you can damage boost through a lot of stuff.
Your iframe seems somewhat generous, at least.
Once Pete takes damage, he's not contact anymore. He's really not that threatening at all for a final boss. He just shoves you. That's all he does. I don't think this guy's gonna be any problem. The dragon is definitely
bullying.
worse. I mean, he shoves you and you only take damage if a skeleton's in the way. It's a pretty violent shove, though. I think the goal is to hit him before he shoves you so that the skeletons disappear with him. They do every time. It's so goofy. What a silly... I think Ouroboros is done at 1 hour and 4 minutes and 35 seconds.
Nice.
2 clears. I'm going to switch audio sources now. To Moonberry's here. Let me do that real quick. Moonberry's journey is continuing still.
Might be able to bring Glumbaron over to this scene as well.
Yeah, I can do that. I can work on that.
Here you go, congratulate Aura.
There's Glumbear in the bottom right. Falling down a pit. Okay, we have all our players here. The audio is coming from the top right still. This is everybody. Hey, look,
Glumbaron was so close to being done. Glumbaron was so close to being done with the level. And just key smashed in Discord. Yeah, I'm seeing why there's so many complaints about some of these levels in World 6. They do seem like the challenge ramps up so much.
Yeah.
This has been a great turnout for this race, and I hope we continue to have this kind of turnout. If whenever we announce a new game, or if you want to join in this one in 2 weeks, if we announce a new game and you think it looks kind of cool, you know, plan for the next week. We stay on a pretty consistent schedule. It's almost always show off a new game week 1. Week 2, we will usually have a race like this one. Week 3, we will either take a look at the world record up to that point, or take a look at last week's winner, or last month's winner. And then week 4, we will do our follow-up race, which at that point, usually people will have come up with some new strats and have a better idea of what to do, but there's no expectation of skill for you to participate in that race.
Yeah. I'd love to see this kind of turn out every time. It's good stuff. And on the final week, if nothing else, we certainly will know a lot more about the game. We're still kind of in the dark on most of it, but I'll personally be playing it by then, and I'll certainly keep an eye on the Discord and know what they're talking about in it. I have been doing that, I always do. But
yeah,
I personally haven't seen the back half of this game very much until today, and I'm going to be playing it myself soon. So next time we talk about this race, we're going to know what's going on much better. But the players don't have to. Feel free to get stuck on stage 2 for 100 years, like all of us will. The real trick is just knowing where to jump the dust storm thing, and I don't feel like you can do that blind very easily.
Yeah,
but,
this has just been way more fun than some of our smaller races have been. I mean, all of our races have been fun to watch. and commentate, but just having so many people here makes this fun for everyone. So
This level is so strict about the space before you die. You could recover if they would just give you a little more room.
we still got Glumbaron down there in the bottom right, the one without the name tag, and he's so close every time. And it always feels like, and this has been the case for everyone who's done this level so far, it always feels like every death is so unfair. I think this is the sort of thing that as people get a little more polished at this, it won't be as big of a deal. I think everyone will kind of have understood how to fix these problems, but boy, this is a punishing level.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, the race timer isn't on screen. I can fix that. It's still going, it's just on the other screen only. I never noticed that.
We've got 3 people we really realistically could see the end of this game within the next 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think everyone would beat this in a 2-hour time limit if we were giving them that long, but I don't think we should. But they've done a really good job. They have 9 minutes left based on what we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
They could be on this last part for a while, unfortunately. It could just be especially nasty. There we go.
Trying to provide words of encouragement in chat. Everyone's like, I'm stuck on 6-3 and I'm tilted right now. And I'm saying, everyone's stuck on World 3 or 6-3. Just, you got this.
Never give up.
There's nothing more stressful than, especially in a speedrun scenario, you know, you make a mistake once or twice and suddenly you think to yourself, okay, I've got to play more aggressively so I can make up for the time I've lost already. And so it just becomes like a vicious cycle. I can't tell you the number of speedruns I've rage quit just because I feel like I need to make up the time I've lost and I play more aggressively and ultimately worse. And I mean, let's not discount either Digital Basic here, who came into this race, I think, to my knowledge, almost entirely blind. And, you know, he's at the end of World 5 now?
Okay, I'm all done with UI. Yeah, I think everyone's done really well here. There's really not much game left. What is your least favorite stage?
My least favorite stage?
Yeah.
Well, that's unfair. I think that World 2 is still... I mean, those win levels in World 2 are still the worst. This is really technical, but I think it's going to be really satisfying to watch and interesting to watch once our runners get better at it.
This is a nasty mess, but it's frustrating. I'm not a game designer, but I know enough about games to know why this is bad and how easily it could be fixed, and that they didn't. If they just stretched the screen a little bit more, you'd have room for the mechanic that they made to give you a break and recover and float back up. But since they cut you off, you just die.
There's also some issues with it not really telegraphing where platforms are at the bottom. The gas balloons carry you up, and there's no way to, like, not do that. And so you really don't know where it's safe to land, ever.
They made this big floating game, and it's all blind. Most platformers have this issue where they just don't want to zoom out.
By the way, Glumbaron has gotten into, you know, Pagan Pete.
You do have the, I don't know what to call them, like spelunky cameras where you can look up and down and shift the camera, so that helps here too. I've seen Wizardman doing that right now to get there carefully, and Glumbaron is going to finish, yeah.
It looks like Wizardman as well is entering the Pete fight.
We have
That's
a
awesome.
race for what
Yeah.
is this, 3rd place?
Yeah. Glumberry's been in here a little longer. Moonberry realistically could still do it, by the way. Not necessarily pulling off 3rd place. That might be a big ask at this point, but you know, we've got a few minutes left. It's realistic to think that Moonberry could make it to Pete and maybe finish off.
He's a slow boss fight, but he seems like it seems like you're gonna get him on the first try. Likely.
Yeah.
If you start to have trouble, if you're on your last health, you can just be careful and suddenly he's not a threat at all. The shoving move there only works if you got a skeleton behind you, so you can just kill the skeleton first. He won't ever hit you then.
Exactly.
He's definitely
if you play this conservatively, it seems like it should be possible to no hit the fight.
He just kind of waits too. He don't ever leave. He just hangs out and waits for that damage to come in. Speaking of 1 health, Glumbaron's pushing it now. See if that safety strike comes in. Yeah, I noticed that the bosses all count as their individual stages, so this is him. This is your checkpoint. This is where you go if you die.
So Glumbaron's conservative strat here is to actually go onto the opposite side of that swordsman, so that you don't get pushed back into him. Instead, you get pushed back past him.
Yep, that's the safety. I don't see you getting hit if you're doing that. Honestly, that seems like he can't beat this. He's finished. Glumbaron is 3rd place. Nice work at 115.07.
Glumbaron is 3rd place with 115.
Hey, we've had 50% clear, and we're gonna get another one here real soon because I see Wizardman really crushing this boss as well. Really good race. Good to see that. We usually only have 1 or 2 people playing these, so I'm glad to see 8 people come out and well, 6 people, and we had enough clears to make it satisfying too. Unsure because I haven't heard anyone talking about clearing this. Now I have a good idea of what it takes. Moonberry is on the boss. They are going to make it in the time limit, I think. They'll be pushing it, but I'm willing to sit around until they've done it.
Oh, Moonberry! Yeah, I was so focused on all the chat happening on Discord, I missed completely. Moonberry made it into Pete, so we're gonna get 5 out of 6 clears, and again, just commenting on it, Digital Basic came in here completely blind, so the fact that they're going to make it to the end of World 5 out of 6 is still really impressive.
115.55 for Wizardman, I think, and yeah, Digital Basic is almost there. The password for the end, I imagine, just plays the ending. I don't know. It's just a circle 4 times. That's pretty weird. It looks like phase 1 you just kill skeletons. Phase 2 he doesn't do his finger guns. Phase 3 he gets pissed off and does his finger gun. And that's your phase of the boss. So phase 2 you definitely do not want to play safe. You want to clobber him instantly. That's a guaranteed hit. I think it confuses people when he switches.
Yeah, I think he just spawns 3 guys at 3 of the 4 possible locations.
Moonberry's got this on lock. Let's see if they legit
Moonberry's got like a consistent strat too.
Okay, phase 3 has begun. You do seem like you have to fully charge these balloons on this part to do anything. It doesn't seem like anything else works. Does he push you if you're on the other floor? Can you go up and then down?
I'm not sure.
I haven't seen anyone try. It seems like you just do not have enough time to rush him down here. I'm just wondering if it would be faster to jump over that skeleton rather than deal with him, because you could. You don't have to seem like you have to balloon him every time. 118.07. Moonberry's made it. Right on time. That's race, I think. That's right. Love to see it. Here's some points. Technical bonus. The best kind of bonus.
Well, that was a lot of fun.
Bloom bonus. That's what we had for you folks. Thanks for joining us for this race. So next week we will be checking out whatever the world record seems to be. We have a run here on this race. We have a pretty good time, so we'll see if that gets beaten. I'm used to times being crushed, so we'll see where we're at. I mean, I'm expecting this to go under 40 minutes, no problem, but based on past performances, if it went under 20 somehow, it wouldn't be the first time, honestly, that it. But they'd have to find some new strats, and I think we saw one today riding the bird, but it didn't turn out the way I think that it was intended to.
Yeah, that went really well. So low 41, I think, is what our current time to beat is.
As far as I know.
42:13 is what we told Eric's.
That's the
That was
time
a lot
I
of fun.
saw. So yeah, let's see what happens with that. And I think there's a lot of room for growth on this because there was game overs aplenty on everybody's run here. Even the fastest one still had probably 10 minutes of death time because of that one level in 3-3, or it was 4-3, the haunted house. I saw them die for a good while there, and they still came out with that great time, which very well may be the record as far as we know. All right.
Cool.
Thanks for joining me, Author Blues. We'll see you next week.
Ton of fun.